Jonathan. Another great episode that we're getting ready to shoot right here. We have Landry Ward with us, soon to be one of the greatest fighters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, we got to speak that into existence. Thank you for coming on to our show. I know we've been working on this for a while, so it's an honor to have you here, and we're excited to talk to you.
Of course, bro. I appreciate y'all having me. Like I said, grew up with your brother, and see you doing big things with this, so I'm happy to come on.
I'm personally excited for this one because for those that don't know, like I've known Landry. Well, there's been a huge gap, you know, but like growing up, we went to the same elementary school, you know, up until 6th grade, and then I went to this junior high. You went to this junior high, you know. But it's cool how life works, you know. It's a small world, and it's like, you know, things find their way back.
Is it weird to see like how everybody grows apart kind of and like where everybody's life takes them? Like,
oh, definitely. Like we separated at the junior high level, but we still had like a little bit of contact. Like, you know, like you see your boy, you're like, oh shit, like what's up, you know, that kind of thing. And then even through high school, seeing each other like that. But yeah, just seeing the way it goes, knowing somebody that long, especially, like, it's a cool journey.
how long have you known Chaz for?
No shit, even longer.
Longer than you are, right?
Yeah, we grew up playing, well,
Like
probably
8,
around there.
yeah,
8.
7, 8.
We grew up playing
Also-
baseball.
On the same team. That's
Yeah.
how y'all met.
Like I grew up playing baseball in Irving, and then I moved over here to Bedford, and I started playing for a team over here. He was on it.
How does it feel like when you first wanted to get into the fighting sport, right, into MMA? Did your whole family believe in you right away and support you, or did you kind of have to prove to them that you really are passionate about this?
Yeah, so like what kind of got me into MMA was I played football like my whole life, and kind of pissed away some scholarships after my senior year, partying a little too much, and then I finally got my head on straight. Was training my ass off, was about to go walk on to college, UNT. Then it was like 3 months before the walk-on day, I went to an MMA gym. And then kind of had to keep it from my mom that I was training for a little bit. She didn't want me to do it. She'd rather me play football. But once, like 2 months after, I had a jiu-jitsu competition, won it, and I was like, damn, I think I'm done with football. I got that competitive itch back and stuck with it. And I think after they saw like how hard and I was training and like I was just focused, she backed me on that. But they always knew that like I had that drive in me that if I wanted to do something, like I was gonna put my mind to it.
Was it just like your adrenaline started rushing though when you started fighting? That kind of it gave you a feeling that you've never had before, or what was it?
It was
about
just
the
that
fighting?
it was that competitive itch back, kind of like that too, because it's one-on-one, you know, man versus man. But I had been out of competition in sports for like a year, so I went into the gym, did that, was doing good, having success, and it was like, fuck, this is fun.
Always wanted to know, like was there a situation that happened that you were like, I want to get into like combat sports, or was it just kind of like you saw something? Or
Yeah, I don't think it was even a situation. It was just like I went into that gym literally to do it as an extra workout because I knew somebody who had walked on at UNT, and they're like, they're gonna kill you every day, like trying to break you, like cardio stuff. And then I had heard and seen that MMA like training at those gyms is crazy cardio, so I was like, I'll add it on as an extra workout. And then I don't know, something just clicked in there with getting that competitive itch back and, you know, grinding, and I was like, this is it. I'm sticking
like one
with
day
it.
after another, you know.
Yeah, it was literally like was one day from the next.
What about like the money side of things? Is it something where you still had to, especially like at the beginning, did you have to have a full-time job still aside from it?
The money in MMA is shit. So
When you level up.
yeah, even when you level up, it's still not that good. But yeah, I was working, and I had to take out a loan to move. So I moved from Texas to Florida because followed my coach down there and trained at a bigger gym, better guys. Yeah, I had to take out a loan to do that. So it's hard. I'm investing in myself, knowing that, you know, I put the work in, knowing the money is gonna come. But yeah, there ain't no money in this shit. You have to do this because you love it. Yeah, there's no dollar sign chasing in this game.
I guess just what's your opinion on what the UFC is doing right now?
I mean, the pay definitely could be more. I mean, I get it. They got a bunch of other staff and stuff to pay, but I think they could definitely. I'm not gonna say it because you're gonna be my future employer, but I couldn't go in too much. But yeah, I mean, there could be more pay. There probably should be a fighters union. I mean, no healthcare and stuff is a little crazy, but
And a lot of it, even in the beginning stages, plus like later on, even when fighters, make it and elevate more, a lot of it is like self-promotion.
Yeah.
So I feel like even in your early stages, you have a lot of self-promotion. Like you said, you invested in yourself, and you're promoting yourself. So it's like even when you make it, when you do, it's like you just got to continue promoting yourself.
Yeah, that's huge,
Money will
especially nowadays. Like, the more marketable you are, the more fucking followers you got on Instagram and stuff, like, that's gonna equal to more pay along the way. Like, I gotta market myself as well. I got my own logo, my own like shop going. So that's another thing with the UFC is like they provide you with a platform too, and you got to be able to be like a businessman and make your money off having that platform as well.
What is something that you could do as far as like social media to make yourself stand out? Does like fighting or like getting a crazy knockout, does that have a chance of like going viral, and the more likes and views the better maybe it does for your career? Or how does all that work?
Yeah, like exciting finishes, everybody can see it going off Sports Center or something. Even somebody from like a little local promotion can get like a crazy knockout, and that'll go all over social media, run up numbers. So that's something you got to do. Like, I felt my finish in my last fight, it wasn't like a spectacular finish, but like I busted the dude up. It was crazy bloody, and like, people like that. If people are into fighting, like people are interested in that. So like that does a little bit of numbers, and then you got to be able to have the content and push the content and like be interesting on social media.
Other than of course like following you on Instagram, what is there anything else that we could do to help support?
Like, obviously, like a huge thing now is sponsors as well. So like if you got companies, you work out sponsorship deals and stuff like that, or like to help out and support money wise. Obviously, like I said, I got merchandise in the shop and stuff. LoneStarKid.com. If y'all are watching and want to help support the brand and rock some good merch, I'm gonna give y'all some stuff after the show.
That's definitely something we want to do, because like you're from this area, we know you, so like we want to promote you as much as we can.
Yeah, and circling back, say investing in yourself, why did you make the move like out there to Miami and not trust the gyms here in Dallas? And because they have Fortis out here, right?
Yeah. It really wasn't much the gyms as it was my
Dieter.
coach that I started with, Dieter Navarro. I mean, he was my first coach I met down here, and he'll be the coach I'm with till I give up the sport.
If anything, it helped you like commit even more.
Yeah.
Lock
Yeah,
in.
I'm good about putting distractions away, like being around all my good friends back here. They want to go out on the weekend, have a beer or something. I'm good at going out and just chilling, not drinking, but moving down there and completely taking myself away from it, it's just a different,
One like
completely different focus.
Like you said, you found like that one guy too, like you could trust him at any point. So when he's telling you what to do in a fight, that's like probably the biggest thing is knowing like you could trust what this guy's telling you and like
100%.
believe. So you just got to stick with him and
100%.
write it out.
Yeah, because your coach is going to see things you don't see, because he's looking at it from like a different angle perspective, almost like a bird's eye view in a way where you might not see certain things.
Yeah, and he cares about me as like a person too.
Yeah.
He's not looking at me as like
money grab.
a fighter to come in who's gonna make money and like put money in his pocket. Like, that's literally like my brother.
How do you stay motivated to just knowing that you can get through all this to get to that goal where you want to be?
Shit, it's just the journey, dude. I love the journey. I love the process. I pride myself on hard work. Like I love being that guy that's in the gym, just like busting his ass doing the right things. So I trust in the process. I know I put the work in to be able to go in the cage, and like when they say you don't rise to the occasion, you revert back to your training, and I completely believe in that.
Your hard work is paying off for
Yeah.
sure. And I've seen like crazy improvement, from like the first fight I've seen you fight to the most recent one. You've definitely improved a lot.
And that's the thing too. You can look back on your fights, like, dang, I've gotten better. I've gotten better. I know the sky's the limit.
Well, even not even looking back on your fights, but when you're training with like people like Michael Chandler, to where you're fighting or you're sparring with world champions, like being able to like maybe hold your own compared to like 3 years ago, to where maybe you're just getting like dogged out yourself. Like that's got to give you like just that extra,
Yeah, it's a
you
very
know.
humbling sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you said, like I train with some of the best people in the world. So I mean, Michael Chandler, he's about to fight next week. Let's go. But yeah, like he's a dog. You get to train with people like that for the first time, and they put it on you, and you're like, damn, am I built for this? Am I?
Yeah. It makes you feel like you're so far out.
Am I gonna make it? But then you show up the next day, you keep going, things go a little bit better, and you just see the improvements coming.
How do you kind of stay locked in to just know that mentally, okay, I still have a long way to go, but I got to get there somehow?
Yes, I mean, it's just the journey and trusting in the process. Like, he's got, even if he was somebody who had the same amount of experience that I have, you just got to know that. You just got to show up day in and day out, really trust in the training and push yourself to your limits to learn it.
Could you explain like the behind the scenes a little bit as how important a record is to getting to the next step? And is the next step the UFC?
Yeah, so the record's everything. If you look at fighters getting into the UFC nowadays, they're sitting like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 0 or 1.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, but you don't see a lot coming in with like 3+ losses. So it's huge. You get a lot of people like padding the records.
I was about to say, I feel like you kind of made the jump to like your record 7-1, but you're already fighting for like a top 3-4 organization, where you're already fighting like high level.
Yeah, you'll find a lot of people that as they're going up, getting to like 3, 4, 5, 6-0, they're taking like easy fights. But me, we've kind of taken the things like take a good fight, step to competition, not making too crazy jumps, but I step the level of competition up every fight, not trying to fight scrubs that'll just give me a dub. Like, I want to be tested before I get to the UFC. And the next step, I mean, it could be the UFC if they decide to give me a call. But right now, just waiting. I'm going to get back to Florida this weekend, sit down with my coaches, and we're going to discuss the next step.
Would you be down if the call was the Ultimate Fighter? Would you be entertaining that?
Yeah, I do the Ultimate Fighter. You get a lot of there's a lot of promotion in the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
They kind of
they believe in it. They still back it big time.
Yeah, but
I mean, if
you're entertaining on the Ultimate Fighter, you can get a lot of promotion from that. Or the Contender Series too. They do the Contender Series a lot. I could get a call for that, but I don't think that's till the summer, I believe.
Mm-hmm. The UFC fighting, right? It's like you pretty much get a call last minute, like you just said. I mean, it feels like you're automatically the underdog there, right?
That's
right?
Fighting in general. Like, the odds are stacked against you. Unless you're that guy who's, 4-time D1 All-American national champion wrestler or Sambo champion coming from Russia or something. Unless you're that guy who's going to get like the special treatment and get in there quick, usually it's a hard road.
Like, seeing you now, it's just like a regular person, but it's like I have a feeling when that cage closes, or when is that point where it's like this switch just turns on? It's like
you're just like, you talking yourself into hating these people, or are you going in there mutual respect like at all times? Because I mean, like, obviously the shit talking will come like the bigger you get and stuff like that. But I feel like
it's kind of like what goes through my head is just like I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Like,
it has to be. Like, what else could it be, right?
Like, what's in my head is like this guy has no idea what's bad. Like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up, and then I get in there and like it's like I get to fuck this dude. Like, let's go. It's time now.
Yeah.
I get to go. I get to do what I've been training hours and hours, weeks and weeks, months.
It's like adrenaline mixed, I'm sure, with like excitement. Yeah. Are you a little nervous? I mean,
I'll get nerves in the back, like just chilling before. It's like those, like I'm about to perform, like anything can happen nerves, and then I get in there, and it's like I got my little routine I do when I get into the cage, and once I do my flip and my feet hit the ground, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that confidence kicks in because you start to know, like, man, all the hard work, all the training I put in. It's like you put too much time in to be nervous, to be second guessing yourself. It's like,
now I get to show that. I love putting. My last 4 fights have been without fans, and that sucks. Like, I love fighting in front of fans. Like, before I fought there, I fought at Texas Live, a bunch of people there for me, and then Billy Bob's. I main evented there. And that was like a smaller venue with like probably 1,000+ people like chanting.
Yeah.
And that feeling of performing in front of people is just like, I love it. I can't wait till I'm doing it in front of 20,000+ at American Airlines Center.
Yeah.
And then down the road when I'm fighting for a world title defending, I'm gonna be the first MMA fighter to sell out Jerry World.
Your last fight, by far, like the first round, nothing was going for you. You have to go back. What's that feeling like when you get back to the corner? Like, I come in here with a game plan, none of it's working. This guy's like just countering everything I have. Like, are you already seeing like what you need to switch up, or is Dieter like there? Like, he's telling you like, okay,
so-
here's what we need to go to, and how do you like stay like mentally like we're good, like, you know?
Dieter's there to tell me what he sees, and then like mentally on the fly, I got to be there to make the adjustments too. I kept going to a single leg, but I had my head way too low. And then when I got the body lock in the first round, I went to throw him and then trip him, but he scooted to the cage a lot quicker than I expected. And I kind of made that adjustment in the corner. And you see I come out in the second round, got my single leg, worked to a body lock, threw a hip toss, and then it tripped him. So I made that, finished out the round on top. And then we were sitting on the stool, and Dieter was like, look at that motherfucker, he's fucking dead. I couldn't see because my eyes were messed up, my contacts fell out, and I was like, I can't see him,
Just
but
had to
I know,
believe him.
I was like, I know that fucker's dead.
It goes
And
back to that
and I
trust.
felt great too, like my cardio felt great, so I was just sitting there like, all right, and Dieter was yelling at the ref because the guy threw some elbows to the back of my head, and Dieter was yelling at the ref, and I was like, chill. And when I said chill, Dieter looked at me like, what? And then he walked out, and I don't know, I just knew that if I stayed in the dude's face there, because I could see he was gassed as well, and I was going to get him. Stayed in his face, I hit him in the stomach, he spit his mouthpiece out, and I was just in his face like, you're done. Threw the knee up the middle, cracked him, and then I started off the finish.
Is that like
The ground and pound,
like,
yeah.
Is that like your most like proud win, like for overcoming, like, I know knockouts not as flashy as like some you've had, but like as far as like mental, like overcoming that, like,
Yeah, it has to mean a lot for you,
Yeah,
like
for
to
real.
overcome that.
That felt good because I got to show like my fight IQ, got to show that I was a dog, and like I got to finish for the first time in like I think 3 or 4 fights. So all those like just felt good. When he finally stopped, I was like, let's fucking go.
Do the hits hurt? Like, I know, you know, with the adrenaline rushing, leg kicks, like, do you feel every hit, or is your adrenaline pumping that you really don't even feel anything coming your way?
Like you feel, obviously you feel it a little bit if it's hard enough, but you feel it a lot more like right after.
Mm-hmm.
Like he caught me with some elbows to the side of the head that there was one that I felt, I was like, ooh. I can't
like when
get-
you were in on the single.
Yeah, when I was in on the single, he popped me like right on my temple, and I don't know if I went out for a second or not, but like I was like,
yeah.
oh, I can't get hit with that again. So I tried. If you watch the fight, I really tried to hide my head and like block my head, and then I recomposed myself and got it. So there's sometimes you feel it, but really you feel it like after.
But even when you feel it like that, like let's say if that happens to me or one of us, it'd be like,
You panic.
oh shit. But
Yeah.
to you, it's so quick where it's like, oh, let's make sure that doesn't
Yeah,
happen
let's-
again. Like
let's
it's
get our
all
head out of
so
the way.
quick, right? That you don't have time to sit there and be like, God damn, that was crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's all like in the instant.
Yeah, like I mean, you're in the fire every day.
Yeah.
You know, like training every day. So obviously not getting hit like that, taking elbows to the head every day, but you're in a hard fight every day, whether it's like grappling hard or something. So everything is like that for us. Like when you go through an everyday job, you're not getting hit in the head and trying to like dominate another person, I guess per se. So the actions are just different. The reactions are different.
Yeah. What about the post-fight recovery? We kind of talked about it a little bit like off camera, but I just want people to know, like, you know, there's this whole preparation training. You go out, you perform, you get the W, you get your hand raised, but it's like once you walk out of that cage, I feel like there's a whole nother journey. It's a whole nother process that just begins, where it's like, because you got to like take care of yourself, you know, you got to like,
Won't go, I guess, too in depth to it, but like when you go through a hard fight like I just had, like you walk out with somebody, and like my head was swollen for like 5 days. I had to ice that. Leg a little bit swollen from taking kicks and kicking. So yeah, you got these little nagging injuries that you just gotta take time and let your body decompress. Like, yeah, it's cool to get done with the fight and be like, oh, I'm back in the gym the next day, but there's also like you can do your body a detriment by doing that and just run it more and more into the ground. So you gotta be smart, listen to your body. Like I said, take care of those little injuries, and then once they're healed up, get back to work.
So it's the first time that you see your opponent is in the ring
No, you'll see him like at weigh-ins.
at weigh-ins.
Weigh-ins the day before.
Like the reason I'm asking is like, do y'all try to get under each other's skin, or has anybody tried to like get under your skin before the fight?
Really not at this level. Like not at this level, you don't see a lot of that.
Because you've seen like Conor McGregor and the stuff he's
Yeah.
done in the past, and it's like, do you see maybe some of that coming? I'm sure you're gonna run into opponents that are just ruthless assholes that want
Or
to.
you could be that.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
you
you've
could,
never
yeah.
had a mic in front of
I
your
know.
face to where you're the one
I
like
can't
just
wait.
talking all this
Yeah,
shit.
I can't wait till I get the mic in front of my face. Yeah, I can't wait till I'm at that point. So
Are you? Would you
That's
be the
part of
type
the
that's
journey.
kind of more like a Connor that's, you know, just on somebody's neck, or more of like a Khabib that's kind of like humble and just keeps quiet till the ring?
More of like if they want to come at me like the way Connor does, I'll have the little jabs to come back. Well, I'm not gonna be. I don't think I'm really not a guy who's gonna go out of my way to be like,
Straight
you know,
asshole.
be like Connor and be like straight over the top.
Because you don't want to lose your character.
So it'd be hard to like. I feel like it'd be hard for me to force it. But like if somebody's coming at me like that, like I can hold my own with some like jabs, making it entertaining, going back and forth.
Plus, you know, it's entertaining. It's business. It sells fights.
I'm not gonna shy away from that. I'm ready.
How do you get late in the afternoons? Does your body ever take a toll on you, or you just crash, or you just want to lay down and rest?
I mean, it kind of depends. If I don't do anything in the mornings and I just wake up and I go about the day, like I don't have a hard training session, then I'll be up all day. It'll be even hard for me to sleep at night. But if I wake up and I have like a hard training session, then I'll crash, try to get a little nap in, and then I'll wake up and be ready to go. Do
you kind of focus a lot on your submission game and the ground game?
Yeah.
In case you have an opponent that just, you know, might be a
nowadays everybody is so well rounded. Yeah. So you don't really find a lot of guys who are like just good at one thing. Everybody's so good everywhere now. Like Charles Oliveira, most submissions in UFC history, goes and gets submitted.
Everybody else you're fighting kind of had a head start. You didn't start in wrestling. You're kind of just like, do you think you'd be the fighter you are if you didn't do all these other sports? Like, you being athletic is like one of your biggest gifts, but like coming from football, baseball, basketball, this footwork, and like you were able to like, I mean, 6 years training is nothing, and look at you already like knocking on the door of like the biggest organization in the world.
Yeah, I think that being an athlete and growing up playing sports, that is definitely the biggest asset I bring to the game. Like I can pick things up very easily, and I don't know if that comes from that. Playing football and everything, I was very easily able to pick up how to do certain moves and things. So they say mental reps in football are some of the best reps you can get. So now when I transfer to that, and like I take that mindset into it, I'm like, if I can see something, I then go do it. A lot of people see something and then they'll go try to drill it, and they're like all over the place doing it. But me, I can see it, like, all right, he's putting his legs there, he's moving his hips this way, and then I'll go like after they show me once, and I'll be able to do it. So that is a huge asset I can bring to training, and it's helped me, you know, adapt and skyrocket a lot in 6 years.
How many fights a year do you guys have?
I think the past 2 years I've gotten 3 each year. So it kind of depends. Usually like 3 or 4 is like the sweet spot that people get. 3 is...
And that's kind of what you want, right? Like you want that many fights.
Yeah. I mean, I would like 4 would be ideal, but it's hard when you're fighting good people too, because you can come out of a fight with like an injury that you had during camp that got re-aggravated in the fight, and you're like, all right, I gotta take some time to heal it, and then I'll get back and have like a good training camp. So 3 is probably like the most realistic one. 4 ideally.
You haven't had any major injuries?
No.
Still no LASIK, right?
Nah.
Need that done?
No, you actually can't get LASIK if you fight. You have to get this thing called a PRK. So LASIK, they like cut across your eye, open the flap, and like clean under it, and then the little cut heals. So you can't get that, because if you get hit, there's a chance of it reopening. The PRK, they shave your eye down, and it like the healing process, like it scabs over and like is like new. Like a new eye, so it's not like a cut that could open up. So like that's what they say it sucks. They say it sucks, and the healing process is a little worse than LASIK, but
can't be worse than going out there with no contacts, like falling out in the ring.
Yeah, that shit happens
Is that what you do now? You fight with contacts in?
Yeah, you said it's happened like every fight, right? Damn near
I'm not allowed to. I'm not allowed to fight with contacts in. So no, I don't fight with contacts in. They might fall out every now and then.
Yeah. So, I mean, with your record, you're pretty much 3 to 4 fights away from starting to expect those phone calls from like somebody like a UFC or like.
I could get it now, but I think realistically, I'm 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
So as early as next year, hopefully, if everything goes well.
And
I think for sure within the next 8 months.
And you're still like you could say 4 years away from like that window of like, you know, your actual prime, like
Contender?
Putting everything together. You know what I mean? Like. You're 26.
Yeah.
So like you'll be right around that decade mark of training and all that, just everything coming together.
I guess would you say that's like if you had to like envision your perfect like lineup up to, let's say, getting a championship fight? Would that be in maybe 3 to 4 years from now?
What I see in my head is around 31.
31.
Around the time I'm 31, I think I'll be a champ, if
Okay.
not before.
I wanted to ask you about Jake Paul when he fought Woodley, right? Chaz, of course.
I'm a big supporter over here. These guys making us look bad.
Yeah, Chaz. I mean, he was betting his life on Woodley at that point.
The frozen one.
The
The
I was
frozen
thinking, Jake Paul might have a
Frozen.
chance that fight, and I mean, I got made to look like an idiot for even thinking that. And then the fight happens, and Jake Paul wins. From your point of view, does that play a role in like how does that make MMA look?
I can't bring myself to think that these are real fights.
Yeah.
Sounds like me. But my
No,
whole
like-
argument was like, if he just let his hands go, I just told Elvis, like,
Yeah.
if he lets his hands go, Tyron, there's no way he beats Tyron.
Yep.
Well, he never let his hands go, but that's been his, like,
But they also-
demise.
They also fought 2 times, so people forget the first fight was a lot closer
It's
than
just a
people think. The
decision,
second
yeah.
fight,
I can't-
somebody fell out.
I just
I
said
look
it
at the
again.
fights now. I'm like, this has to be fixed. Like, there's no way that guy steps in there with Anderson Silva and knocks Anderson Silva out. And
Or outpoints him.
like, bro, there's
Yeah,
like,
I told them that
I
this
don't
weekend.
think that. I don't think they're real
You think
fights.
they're
I
fixed?
think they're fixed fights. I
Even
don't
though
know.
the-
I could be a
Even the way
hater.
Woodley went down in the second one.
Dude, I know that he did fall face first, but I don't know. I could just be a hater. I respect him for like his business, and I mean, it does look like he's putting a lot of work in training. But I think there's a lot more money in like him continuing to win and like beat these retired guys.
Well, yeah, and he's picking the perfect opponents.
setting
Yeah.
something up, but
Yeah.
he could just be like doing good and getting the better of him, but I don't know. They seem fixed.
It'd be different if he was getting tossed like these young and up and coming fighters like who are hungry and
Yeah.
Or just any UFC fighter that's not 50.
I think there's always that factor of like, is it boxing dirty as it is?
100%.
So if you do a celebrity boxing, it's just like,
Even like how I'm telling
everything's
him, I was
different. Like,
Mike-
it's only 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And
I'm sitting there like Mike Perry's sitting right there front row. Call out Mike Perry, my favorite fighter. But like,
Mike
if
Perry's
you were gonna
fucking
tell me like
hilarious.
they're gonna fight and then be like, you think Mike Perry get paid off? You know, fuck yeah! Like I feel like he would
Yeah.
take a huge check to like get knocked
Yeah.
out by that guy.
yeah, I kind of want him to fight Diaz because I feel like Diaz is the type where like he'd go out there and like break the rule or something,
Yeah.
like just elbow him a couple times, or just.
I
Say
think it
fuck
would just
the
be
money
a
and
good
just-
like shit talking fight.
Yeah,
right? Even
that
before.
would be very good to sell.
We'd all
Yeah.
be dumber after that fucking press.
Dude, listening to Nate
Yeah.
Diaz talk is one of the funniest things ever.
Or we're manifesting that at age 31, or at least by 31, champion of the world.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the
That's the
goal.
plan. We're gonna make it happen.
We'll leave it on that note then, and we'll keep watching you every fight until then. Once
Supporting
again,
everyone, yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
What's the website?
Oh yeah, LoneStarKid.com.
Yeah, we'll
we
put
got
that
hats, shirts. We got it all. There's a lot of options on there. Please support the brand. I really appreciate it. And thank you all again for having me. This
Yeah,
was
thank
fun.
you.
Yes, sir.
Talk
Good.
we're out. Appreciate it.